Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody, and welcome to this new webinar from Nextatlas. After the session that we made in April that was dedicated with a meeting with Barilla today, we are changing totally the environment and the industry. We're speaking about luxury, which we believe is a very interesting industry because even if it's growing every year, it's undergoing a certain number of threats, starting from the crisis of the Chinese growth, of course, the changes in Gen Z approach to consumption and purchase. So to tackle this topic and to understand what is the present and particularly the future about luxury and what is the neo-luxury, today we're speaking with two different experts. We have Elena Marinoni, our senior trend researcher, which is also education director of the Istituto Marangoni in Dubai, and
Hi,
Silvia
everyone.
Stella Osella. Hello, Elena, and Silvia Stella Osella, sustainable fashion specialist, color and trend consultant.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And everything that you will see today, as usual, starts from the analysis that we do in Nextatlas. We're a combination of data scientists and insight strategists, and combining these quant and qualitative skills, we call ourselves the foresight scientists. We do everything by leveraging the power of the early adopters, because, of course, we are interested to look at what's going on in the future and not only what's relevant for the present. The type of analysis that we do in Nextatlas relies on one side, so on this huge number of early adopters that we analyze at global level. We're speaking about more than 40 countries and more than 15 languages analyzed, balancing perfectly different type of sources from Instagram to X to YouTube and Reddit, of course, but also depending on the need, also Chinese unlocalized social networks such as Sinaweibo or Xiangzhu. We discover the weak signals before they go mainstream because, of course, it's important to understand what are the early signals of change, and we analyze in depth also what is the changing of behavior through time. In particular, what we will see today starts from what we have analyzed recently in the new feature of the platform, which is the big picture. What you see is Nextatlas platform where every day we publish fresh facts, insights, and trends. But the big picture, which is a specific session, analyzes macro trends such as attention or neo-luxury, aging, authenticity, and neo-luxury, of course, is the one that we are focusing on today. When we did decide to dedicate a session to this type of macro area, we want to understand everything that's going on in this area. So what is rising on a weekly level? What are the new facts and insights that we publish in Nextatlas? What are the distribution of themes and subtopics inside the macro area? What are the ideas innovations, so the business cases that are rising every week that are connected to the area, and of course also the evolution through time. And as you can see, neo-luxury is something that is always rising. The statistics starts from the 2020. Entering in one of these areas, sub-areas, this one is the one dedicated to environmental luxury, you can see that there's a lot of data that are updated on a weekly level. Of course, the trend line, because it's important to see what's the evolution of the topic and also the perspective for the future. But not only, of course, there are other type of data that can provide relevant insights. So what are the countries in which a specific topic is most discussed? Or what are the target audiences? In this case, we are speaking about a subphenomenon that is mostly young for Gen Z or millennials and feminine, for example. There are a lot of data that we analyze on a weekly level and that are also specific in terms of industry. So, for example, the design focus allows to understand what are the styles, the materials, the furniture, the indoor elements that are most associated with the topic. On the other hand, also from a more qualitative point of view, it's important to see the mood board and to look at different visual content that can help to understand what's going on with the topic and other related phenomena on Nextatlas. So what you are going to see today, what Helena is going to introduce us is a list of some of these areas that compose the neo-luxury macro area. So we will deep dive into 3 of these areas together with Elena, and then even more in depth together with Silvia, speaking about environmental luxury. So Elena, stage is yours.
Thank you, Eric. Again, hi everyone, and thank you for being with us. It's now my pleasure to share and comment with you, and also with our special guest Silvia, some data and insights drawn from our Nextatlas platform. With this webinar, we aim to provide you with a sort of, let's say, overview of the current evolution of the luxury sector to figure out its implications across different industries, with a special focus on fashion and design. Being a luxury by definition, a multidimensional concept, which is periodically redefined, but also challenged by the evolution of society, the evolution of lifestyles, it is worthy to discuss and to see what are the dimensions of luxury that are actually gaining more and more attraction nowadays, generating buzz among early adopters, among industry insiders, and therefore providing food for thoughts for brands and agencies alike. Here we can get, as we said, an overview of the 6 main facets of luxury driving online conversations nowadays. And you can also see what is the respective weight of each dimension. We have a tactile sophistication, we have premium moments, environmental luxury, subversive exclusivity, digital wealth, and sport-driven elitism. We are going now to deep dive into 3 of these, and hopefully with this webinar we'll be able actually to trigger your curiosity, and so do not hesitate to reach out after the webinar to see what's more on Nextatlas in regards to the 3 remaining 3 dimensions. Let's start from tactile sophistication. Tactile sophistication is all about luxury consumers gravitating towards a style that is all about subtle details, flawless craftsmanship, and timeless design. Craftsmanship pieces provide an inherent tactile pleasure, somehow elevating the luxury experience to a new level of indulgence, while at the same time conveying an understated aura of wealth. This dimension of luxury celebrates the elegance of simplicity. It also emphasizes on quality over quantity, nurturing a connection that is very profound between individuals and their items, their belongings. Beyond fashion and accessories, this trend extends to home interiors, craftsmanship, and art and design industries alike. Terms and expressions such as exquisite craftsmanship, buttery leather, or richly textured are, as you can see, on the rise as a sort of corollary of this trend. What about the data connected to this trend? Well, interestingly enough, the user demographic at the top is Gen Z, while at the bottom we can find seniors. The highest ranked user gender is female, and the predicted growth over the next 12 months is by 18%. A brilliant example, brilliant, let's say, business case connected to this trend is the Bottega Veneta 24 Spring-Summer collection named Odyssey, which is in this sense a remarkable example of tactile sophistication, We can regard it as a sort of testament to the brand's mastery of tactility. And this fashion show transported attendees on a real sensory journey, weaving together intricate leatherwork, natural fibers, and embellishments to create a rich tapestry of textures and colors. Moving on to a second dimension of luxury, which is gaining more and more traction nowadays, premium moments. This dimension currently accounts for 24% of the overall neo-luxury big picture. As a society increasingly values experiential living, the luxury sector evolves to provide unparalleled premium experiences. Consumers crave more than just awareness and supreme comfort. They yearn for bespoke, singular moments that redefine exclusivity. And these, whether indulging in spa retreats, savoring exclusive dining experiences, and pursuing ultra-luxurious once-in-a-lifetime encounters. As a corollary of this trend, we are witnessing the rise of insights such as rising demand for branded luxury residential spaces reflect a growing appetite for exclusive experience-driven lifestyles. We do have also design hotels flourishing as travelers seek unique aesthetic experiences, blending comfort with a more artistic flair. And third, we have the rising fascination with luxury spas and staycations, which reflect a desire for self-care in an increasingly stressful world. What about the data revolving around this premium moments trend? The dominant user demographic is again Gen Z, being the most frequent user gender female, and the predicted growth over the next 12 months is by 3%. Currently, premium moments is the facet of luxury that is more, let's say, relevant in statistics terms. Iris is a restaurant located in the heart of Norway's fjord, and it offers really a unique dining experience that embodies the essence of premiumness. The restaurant is a very remote location, accessible only by boat, and this sets the tone for a very immersive experience, since guests are treated to a multisensory underwater journey before being seated for dinner, which is then carefully crafted to showcase the region's finest seafood and sustainable ingredients. The 18-course menu is designed to present a story of the challenges and threats to the global food system, while also highlighting innovative solutions resulting from the benefits of the ocean. And finally, moving on to our third dimension of luxury, which is gaining more and more momentum, environmental luxury, which currently accounts for 23% of our big picture about neo-luxury. And in a nutshell, environmental luxury is a trend resulting from our environmentally conscious world, with the idea of eco-luxury shining as a symbol of mindful indulgence. Curated consumption embodies a cultural shift towards conscious and responsible choices. And eco-wealth centers on impactful possessions like luxury electric cars, lab-grown diamonds, one-of-a-kind vintage items, whereas everyday items prioritize premium and organic materials. As consumers seek both uniqueness and longevity, they embrace innovative, sustainable alternatives, paving the way for a new era of luxury that harmonizes more and more with the planet. Still, there is so much we can do. Rising consumer eco-consciousness drives surging demand for FSC-certified sustainable products. And consumers that are more and more adopting responsible consumer behaviors shift their focus from logos and logomania to longevity. The very same term responsible design, as you can see, has experienced triple-digit growth over 1 year. What about the data revolving around this trend? Again, at the top for user demographic, we can find the Gen Z. At the bottom, seniors. The principal user gender is again female. And the predicted growth over the next 12 months is by 19%. The business case that we have selected to represent this third dimension of luxury comes from the automotive sector. Genesis is, as you might know already, the luxury vehicle division of Hyundai Motor Group. And Genesis focus on sustainability and carbon neutrality set it apart in the luxury vehicle market. Why they are interesting? Because they are using unlikely materials such as discarded newspapers converted into a sort of wood. They also use basalt stones, forged wood varnish made from wood scraps, fabrics made out of recycled nylon, yarn and PET bottles to create luxury interiors. Genesis designers work closely with partners all around the world, including research centers and institutes, ensuring that Genesis vehicles not only look unique, but also stay ahead of the curve in terms of sustainability and luxury upcycling. Since the environmental dimension of luxury accounts, as we said, for the 23% of our neo-luxury big picture, and so together with premium moments, they are the most, let's say, impactful dimensions of luxuries. We would like to keep on deep diving into the environmental luxury dimension by getting additional food for thoughts from our very special guest, Silvia Osella. So, Silvia, the stage is yours, and at the end, we will have, of course, time for a QA session. So, just stay with us. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just sharing the screen. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Elena, for the introduction. Thank you, Eric, and to the whole Nextatlas team for having me tonight. Thanks to all of you for participating to this webinar. As Elena brilliantly explained before, the environmental luxury is a pretty big theme into growing a lot in the luxury and fashion and design segment. I'm a creative consultant. I've been working for over 15 years in the fashion design industry. Right now, my focus is on sustainable fashion. And so what I do is I research sustainable fabrics, next-gen materials. I help companies shifting to a more responsible way of producing and actually conceiving products and collections. And I teach in different universities. Tonight with you, I'd like to dive a little bit more into this topic, this macro trend you've seen with Elena. And I've selected for Nextatlas 3 main topics and main areas that I'd like to explore with you. The first one is called collaborative responsibility. Then we have age of honesty, and lastly, conscious AI. These are topics which I find particularly relevant right now, and that gives a little bit more insight about this super relevant and insightful topic that we've seen tonight. So the first one is collaborative responsibility. And as you might know, in the luxury segment, innovation and supply chains in general have never been particularly advertised, but rather kept secret. But right now we're witnessing a huge shift on this topic. So brands are opening up the supply chains and are actually proudly showing how things are made, how they're making improvements in terms of new materials, patents, and processes in order to actually make a change and actually to bring innovation on a bigger level to help innovation scaling up, which we know is a particular difficult topic for the fashion and the luxury market in general. So the final goal is, of course, to build a different, more collaborative fashion system. And we're also witnessing brands deciding to operate on an open source mode. So making their findings available for the whole fashion compartment. And so when they actually invent a patent or bring innovation on the market, they decide to keep the patent available for competitors as well. And this is something pretty big we're seeing, a big shift in what has always been the norm in this industry. A perfect case study for this is the Kering Material Innovation Lab. Kering Material Innovation Lab was born in 2013 in Milan and has been working quite a lot, as you might know, in innovation during all these years. They particularly focus on materials, but on processes as well. And what is very interesting is how they have specifically chosen not to keep patents for themselves, but to actually collaborate with a wide network of stakeholders, so suppliers and all kinds of partners and startups, in order to make their discoveries available for competitors as well, and for a large number of brands in the fashion and luxury segment. And of course, their goal is also to accelerate this shift to a more sustainable and responsible approach to production and to fashion, of course. Talking about this topic, I also wanted to include what I called collaborative responsibility, and as with a different perspective from what we've seen before. So a purposeful co-creation. We witnessed a lot of all kinds of co-branded collaborations and capsule collection and launches in the last few years. But right now, the new kind of collaboration I'm talking about are not only a marketing move, but rather meaningful projects in which companies bring together their expertise and their innovation to put on the market products with a story to tell. And so with a strong message towards a more responsible approach to fashion and to luxury in general, and where the process is as important as the product itself. What I mean by that is that the supply chain, the artisans, and everyone involved, the innovators behind it all, are now actually active players and are not just hidden behind the whole supply chain. A good example for this is the collaboration between Mogu and Balenciaga, where the Italian material innovation company that has invented this patent called EFEA, an alternative to leather made by mycelium, has created this coat for Balenciaga a few seasons ago that went quite viral online. And then, of course, Balenciaga really wanted to advertise the collaboration and the partner that made this possible. And again, this is something pretty new that we're seeing. Lastly, the collaboration went so well that the Balenciaga itself decided to fund and make this kind of innovation grow and so scale up to another level. Moving to the second theme, it's what I call Age of Honesty. And as you might know, we're seeing a huge shift happening in terms of laws in the making, both in the US and in the EU. regarding the fashion and textile sectors, of course, and so products and processes are hugely impacted, but communication is as well. So after what I call the greenwashing era, where a lot of claims were made and wrongly used, consumers were left with skepticism and distrust towards the majority of brands. And so what is happening is that a lot of players are starting to review their claims and marketing strategies to change things and gain again this trust on the consumers. So a new trend for this is definitely connected to embracing transparency in the storytelling and choosing honesty and reliability over perfection. This means, of course, talking also about mistakes, about bad moves, and deciding to take the consumer on a journey in explaining how things are, how the brand is struggling, and what can be done. A good example, in my opinion, for this is Ganni, which is a pretty superstar brand from the new Scandinavian wave, and has been one of the very first brands choosing this very approach, which they called brutal honesty. They decided to share actually what went wrong in their production system. They openly said, we don't define ourselves as a sustainable brand. This is something we want to do, but we want to take the consumer with us on a journey. And in order to do that, they even opened a second Instagram account where completely different, completely dedicated to this journey, and where they carried on an honest and open conversation with their followers, contributing in growing their knowledge as well, even regarding more difficult and technical aspects of what was going wrong and what was going bad. Was going better. The last topic for tonight is what I call conscious AI. There's a lot happening in the artificial intelligence space, as you all know, a lot of buzz, but a lot of worries as well, and especially connected to intellectual property and creativity. And so new regulations are reshaping these as well, so the role of AI itself. And this, of course, will definitely impact how brands will adopt the tool, hopefully trying to enhance human activity rather than replace it. We're seeing, for example, brilliant examples of brands using artificial intelligence to find new ways to bring back and give value to artisanal techniques, or to test new design, taking artisans with them on the communities before producing it, so avoiding waste. At the same time, artificial intelligence is also playing a crucial role, redesigning the future of circularity on what we know is a pretty complex supply chain. And it's assisting designers and manufacturers finding solutions and improving products from the sustainability point of view, reducing emissions, and both at the very beginning, during the design phase, and at the very end of our product life cycle, AI is assisting the players of the fashion industry in shaping new scenarios. So we know, for example, of examples of AI supporting, helping sorting textile waste in order to make recycling of the fibers easier, or helping disassemble very complex accessories like sneakers. And so this is, of course, all pretty new, but it's getting very big. At the same time, these new tools are helping to build a more inclusive fashion system, which is something extremely relevant right now, both by creating more diverse advertising campaigns, suggesting how campaigns can get better in terms of inclusion and diversity, but also assisting customers of all kinds in their shopping experience. A brilliant, in my opinion, case study for this is Amsterdam-based startup La Land. La Land is a tech company that generates AI models of all size, age, all size, age, and race. And it's collaborating right now with a huge number of players in the fashion industry. And it's helping him to find a variety in the models they show online. So it's actually trying to have a more inclusive and diverse model representation than what we currently have on the market. Also, when incorporated in the purchasing experience, La La Land can help reducing the chance of returns by creating avatars which resemble more to the final consumer, so can understand better how the garment will look like on them. And so, as we know, the returns problem is pretty big, and it's connected to a huge amount of carbon emissions. So having the chance to test on a digital avatar that resembles more the customer, a final garment will definitely help reduce the emissions connected to this aspect as well. So this is all on my side for tonight. I hope I stayed in the time. And thank you again for being here. And again, thanks, Eric.
Thanks to you, Silvia, and thanks, Elena, for all this data, all these cases, and all this inspiration that you gave us. Of course, we are just at the beginning of the discussion about this topic, because there is so much to say, and this is also the reason why we are receiving the first questions. So we still have a few minutes, and if you want to add other questions, this is the time to do it. The first one that we are receiving, I believe it's good for maybe Elena, from Robert. What do you mean with digital wealth? It was one of the 6 themes mentioned at the beginning.
Thank you, Robert. Eagle eye, yes, at the very beginning.
Yeah, really.
Overview, and one of the 3 facets of luxury that we didn't comment is exactly about the digital wealth. Well, in a nutshell, digital wealth is about injecting new technologies into luxury products or experiences. And in a way, we are witnessing luxury expanding by incorporating digital assets first, wearable technologies, and additionally, digital privacy is also emerging as a pivotal frontier of luxury, since as concerns about data breaches arise, the possibility to secure one's digital identity has become synonymous with exclusivity and privilege. So this dimension of luxury is statistically speaking the lesser relevant ones, yet I think it's a facet of luxury that we so far didn't take into consideration that much, but it's on the rise as well.
Thank you, Elena. A second question is coming from Elise, which is she's asking, maybe this one is for Silvia. Is the environmental impact of fashion making consumers more aware of their role as buyers? How is this awareness affecting their aesthetic tastes and material preferences?
Well, yeah, of course. I've been working in this field for quite a few years now, and I've seen definitely a shift in consumer behavior. And data, well, of course, tonight we're talking about data as well, is showing that millennials and Gen Z are more aware. Still, there are a lot of obstacles to shift to a more conscious approach to consuming and to fashion as well. So, I mean, mostly fashion, which is my main area of expertise. And the data says that the main obstacles right now are price and the accessibility for getting information. So I was talking before about the greenwashing era. A lot of people are very skeptical right now because they don't know if what they see is true, if they can really believe what brands are saying and the statements, the claims. So definitely access to reliable information is a big problem, and the new regulations I was talking about will definitely make things easier for consumers. This translates in a more to answer the second part of the question, to a more a higher attention to materials, of course. I mean, there's definitely talking about polyester, for example, now it's pretty known, the damages, the microplastic pollution. So people definitely shifting to natural materials more, and are starting to pay attention when they buy to composition, to materials, to not so much maybe yet about certification, even if it's starting, you know, it's still niche, but it's growing. And about design, when we focus on design, definitely clearer lines are what a lot of people call a more timeless approach to design is definitely getting momentum. This is, of course, tricky because on one side we have a more conscious kind of consumer growing its consciousness. On the other side, we have, as you know, the rise of ultra fast fashion as well. So it's complicated, of course.
Yeah, indeed it is. Elena, we have a question from Betty, which is asking, which of these trends would you think are affecting the food industry? So maybe which of the areas that we have commented on?
Well, definitely premium moments is by definition the dimension of luxury that is more experiential, and it's about fine dining, it's about luxury hospitality, it's about, for instance, luxury brands extending their brand equity to hospitality experiences, traveling, services, moving towards more and more an immaterial dimension of luxury. So I would say that for sure, premium moments by definition is the dimension of luxury that is more affected, but also the tactile sophistication that we have commented mainly through examples and insights related to fashion and design actually can be leveraged, I think, in the food industry as well. If we think about like tantalizing textures for food, for dessert, for snacks, I think that this is a huge opportunity to decline the tactile sophistication and also the richly textured combination of tags that are on the rise in food.
Yeah, thank you, Elena. We still have a couple of questions. The first one from Martina. What are topics that have a dedicated area in Nextatlas? So apart from neo-luxury, this is just one of the big pictures. We have called it in this way this section. Otherwise, we have sustainability, which has been the first one that we created with 8 subtopics. We have mental health, we have aging, we have nostalgia, authenticity, and the next one that we have just introduced is attention, so which is a very relevant topic in marketing and communication. And the decision to dedicate this specific area starts usually from understanding if there is some market of big topic which deserves a more deep approach, and so coming to this level of the definition of subtopics as we did for neo-luxury, and all these topics are updated on a weekly level. Finally, last question, I believe for Silvia. Do you believe print magazines have a role in this new wave of neo-luxury? So maybe for Silvia, because I believe it's more impacting the field of fashion and design.
Well, I'd be happy to know Elena's point of view on this as well. So I think it could be both. But personally think, yes, it comes to my mind how niche magazines are getting momentum, how, you know, all these pop-ups happening in huge cities, in newsstands or in niche bookstores are presenting new kind of printed magazines, and how collectors are starting to bring back this kind of magazines. So I think, for example, Cabana with its that takes the fabrics from the high fashion and covers actually the limited editions of their prints. So I definitely think that everything is connected. So, and it also is connected to, you know, the materiality and the tactile feelings connected to that, in my opinion. But I'm curious to know what Elena thinks of this.
Well, I do agree, Silvia, because honestly, this kind of limited edition printed magazines have become, in a way, an object for passionate, for enthusiasts, for collectors. So the idea to like wait for the arrival of these like art piece to collect, to browse, to dedicate like a special moment of the day becomes a premium moment in itself. And I also think that visual designers as well can play a role in elevating this experience by using like materials or like innovations to again elevate the tactile experience. A bit like an art object in a way, something precious that can convey something that is more like sedimented, a bit against the idea of the social media stream that is simply like going and going and going. We have in opposition these objects taken from another age. And so both the visual designers, but also like journalists and contributors for these magazines, I think can take the challenge to approach this kind of objects in a completely different way in terms of tone of voice, in terms of content, in terms of the attention needed to absorb this kind of content. So it's a scenario that I would love to see emerging more and more.
Okay, so thank you again, Elena and Silvia, for this walkthrough for some of the dimensions of the neo-luxury. We're at the end of our webinar, so I remember to everybody that you can contact us if you want to deep dive some of this area, and of course you will find also the report taken from this webinar on Nextatlas website. So thank you again for your participation to everybody, and see you at the next webinar.
Bye. See you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.